Hi guys, I'm not sick no more. Well, kinda. I still have like the cough is always the last thing to leave, but but I'm better now. I apologize for that video. The fact that it got a like surprises me, but thank you guys for watching. But I'm better now. I'm doing good, and I'm back to my normal self, kind of. We're getting there. I had a topic to talk about, and it was just it's a couple of topics that I wanted to talk about that's been on my mind lately. One was a video I wanted to do the other time, but I was just too sick to really go into it, so now I can't. And then there's another topic, but yeah. So first off is kind of like when it comes to like your mental health and trying to get people, especially loved ones, to kind of understand that you're in pain and that you're going through something, and those people, those loved ones or whoever, it's not communicating to them. They're not, like, they can tell something is wrong, but they rather ignore it or just be very dismissive about it. And I've been through that for a good portion of my life. Like my parents, my wonderful parents, I don't know how to explain it. I'm gonna explain it the best way I can, but I don't think they understand. It's like, I don't think they know. It's not that they don't know. I don't know if they don't know, but it's like throughout my childhood, especially my teenage years, I was clearly showing signs of, depression and anxiety, and trying to figure out the world and trying to figure out the things that were in my head, and I was in pain and I was hurting. But it looked like every time I tried to communicate with them, I would be talking to a wall. It was like I was talking to robots. I just felt like my parents were robots. And I know I'm not the only one. I know that a lot of teenagers, their feelings get dismissed because they're like, oh, you're just a teenager, you're just going through hormones and shit. And it's like, okay, yeah, but that doesn't mean that, like, my feelings should be pushed aside or ignored, or like, oh, it'll blow over. I think I still needed support. So for example, like, I know I've talked about this before in other videos, but like I remember that transition from like 8th grade to 9th grade, and I began to feel really overwhelmed with like sadness and feeling like kind of like I was waiting for doomsday. Like I was waiting for the world to crash. And there were some incidents that happened that kind of contributed to that. Looking back now, but at the time I didn't understand. I was very agitated. I was very angry one minute, and then the next I'll be very depressed. I would go through all these different types of moods. And mind you, I'm like 13 in the 9th grade. And okay, every time I try to like explain to people why I was so young in class, was because of something that happened. Really just boils down to like, when I was younger, like a toddler, I wasn't 5 yet, like I was like 3 or 4. I used to go to like a private kind of daycare or whatever, and that year, it got bought out. Bought, is that the word? Bought out? I don't know. But uh, this black woman, she was a principal, and she wanted to start a charter school in the district. And she was like, okay, we're gonna turn this into a charter school. We're gonna start with, you know, K through, like, I think it went through K through fourth grade at the time, or K through 5. And yeah, so it'll no longer be a private school, private daycare. It'll be a charter school. And my parents were like, oh, okay, but and they were basically like, okay, well, you know, because we were here, we were is grandfathered in the right word? Well, basically we didn't have to pay nothing. We would have just transitioned into the charter school. So my parents were like, okay, we'll wait till she's 5. We'll wait till she's 5 because she's 4 now, and you know, we don't know if she wants. We know that, like, maybe being 4 years old in kindergarten is pretty weird. And they were like, no, she's more than capable. She's a very smart girl. She'll do fine. So my parents were like, okay. And that's how I was, like, the youngest in my kindergarten. I was 3 and I just turned 4. And I was like 4 in kindergarten, where all my classmates were like 5 or 6. And sure enough, I never struggled in school. I was able to keep up, but I was always like the youngest in the class. So I just wanted to get that little backstory to why I was like 13 in the 9th grade. But like, anyway, back to the story. But like, I remember, like, and that was like a huge transition for me, because like I always felt like everyone was so much older than me. Like I'm still like a kid. Like I still, you know, I'm trying to adjust with this new big building full of older kids, and I'm in class and everyone's older than me, and new material. And it wasn't like the schoolwork was hard, but it was just like, I felt like I always struggled with friends. But like middle school, I was like the last time I think I could find people that were on my level. But when I got to 9th grade, it was just so much. And then at this time, I was also dealing with, you know, my sexuality, and this was something that really, really affected me. Like it really, because you don't understand. Like I was a church girl. You know, I was a church girl. Like I grew up in the church, and you know, I didn't want to go to hell. I wanted to get saved. I wanted to get baptized and everything. And it was like, but at the same time, I was starting to notice my feelings for women, and like that really, I really struggled with that, because all I've been taught was, oh, well, you know, that's unnatural. That's wrong. You know, that's you're not supposed to, you know, 2 girls aren't supposed to like each other, 2 boys aren't supposed to, you know, and all that. You're not supposed to be gay. So I just felt like I was wrestling with, you know, these emotions and what I've been taught my whole life. But at the same time, I'm starting to naturally feel attraction. I'm starting to feel feelings, like sexual feelings, you know, going through puberty and thinking about girls in my class in that way. You know what I mean? So that was how, and I know for some people that might not translate, because maybe you had the luxury of not being told that you're going to go to hell for who you are, and you have pretty accepting parents. But like at the same time, you know, like that shit affected me. Like that shit was hard. And then also on top of that, you know, my body was changing, and it was changing in a way that I didn't like. And I was wrestling, and I didn't know how to communicate that. And I tried the best I could. And, you know, I tried to tell my parents how I felt about my body. I always felt ugly. I would tell them that I feel ugly. I hate myself. And all they would do was get mad at me. You know, I told my parents, like, you know, I was suicidal, and I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube, but don't tell nobody. And I felt, you know, I was getting into self-harming, and I don't know the reason I learned about self-harming, because, you know, at the time, you know, this is what, 2006, 2007, you know, the emo, you know, the emo thing was catching on. You know, I was there. You know, I was there during the great emo thing of the early 2000s. or late middle 2000s. And the thing that they would say is like, oh, emo kids cut themselves and stuff like that. And I wouldn't have known about that shit. Unless I figured that out. But I was doing that. I was listening to music that was very emo or sad or anything. Like, My Chemical Romance. As much as I don't care how people feel about My Chemical Romance, if they think that band is cringe or whatever, but not to be all like they saved my life, but like, like their music really, because I had just gotten an iPod for my birthday, the little iPod with the wheel, it was the color, not the white one, but the one where it showed color and it had play video. I had that, and I remember putting 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge on my iTunes, and I bought Welcome to the Black Parade, and my life. And like a lot of the emo music I would listen to, Taking Back Sunday, They Used, Hawthorne Heights, who else I used to like, Brand New, The Front Bottoms, like all of these bands, they became like the soundtrack to my life. It's like they understood me more than my parents did. So I would listen to them. I would have my earphones in my ear all the time, and I would sleep all the time and like escape. Like I remember escaping through music. I would just think about how my life would be if it wasn't what it was. And my parents saw that. They picked up on that, and they were like, they got mad because they were like, that music you listen to, because already, they're Black Christian parents. They think all rock music is the devil music. You know what I mean? Like all of it. Like clearly me, that like rock has different subgenres and stuff. Like it's not like I was out here listening to death metal or like black metal or some shit. I was listening to like fucking, but they all thought it was the same. Like I could be listening to Fall Out Boy and that's the devil. It's like, really, Patrick Stump, Pete Wentz is the devil. All these niggas talk about is like Dance and Sugar Were Going Down, and like that's the devil. But that's just how my parents thought. So they thought that like I was, betraying them. I was betraying the household. They called me. They said that that my behavior was not God-like. It wasn't, it was because I was abandoning God, and I needed to pray more. I needed to go to church with them more, and it was like, even, I'm showing all the patterns of depression, like the sleeping a lot, the no appetite, excluding myself, not talking to people, wearing black, and and being dismissive. And then I was writing in my notebook, and they found my notebook. And in my notebook, I remember talking about my trauma that I went through. Like, I literally spelled it out in the book, and they read it, and they were just like, they didn't do nothing. Like, all of the dark thoughts that I had in my head about killing myself, harming others, and all of that, they read this. Like, I remember my dad, but one day I was in school, and my dad is like calling me because I was in class, so it went to voicemail. So I had the little Nokia flip phone, and I see I got a message, a voicemail, and it's my dad saying like, why are you having these thoughts? We need to talk. But like, talking was never addressing the issue. It was more like, okay, clearly you need God. You need you need to pray. You need to this and that. And it's like, it took, I feel like even when the school called them and said, your daughter is clearly going through something and needs help, and we offered therapy at the school, if only you just signed the paper. And they still, they didn't sign the paper, and they still was like, no, there's nothing wrong with her. She just needs to stay in church. She just needs to. And I would go through that. Even when my grades were failing. I was a smart kid. I was, you know, schoolwork. It's the only thing to this day that I swear by. I can do school. I can do schoolwork. I can do homework. I can do essays. I can take quizzes and I can take tests. That's the only thing in my life I know I can do for certain. But even that, I was failing because I was skipping class. I thought, I'm not gonna live past 18. I'm going to unalive myself eventually. Why give a fuck, And I felt like I was crying for help, even when I had friends or acquaintances and I would talk to them about it. Clearly they can't save me. I mean, they tried. They tried to be a friend and be there for me, but eventually they were just like, you're too much. You're too much. So I just, I eventually just grew up and, I just tried to find community in different places. Some good, some bad, some led me to transitioning at 19, but it just hurts. Looking back at that, it hurts. Knowing that I just needed help. I just needed my parents to believe in me. Believe what I was going through instead of just dismissing me and just saying, oh, it's just me guy. Now, looking back as a full-fledged adult, even though what I did sucked, like, I understand now. From their point of view, my parents are very religious. That's all they know. To them, they probably thought they were saving my life and giving me the best advice as they can. So, while I do give them that bit of grace for doing that, they should have signed that paper. And I could have been getting therapy, way back in 9th grade, instead of going through years of turmoil and trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with me. And now that I'm, it's taken me a while to be at the age to where I'm at now, to finally be like, look, I'm gonna get help. And as I got older and realized, like, they kind of messed me up. My parents kind of messed me up with that. I'm now no longer, yeah, that could be true. But I used to use that as an excuse for why I didn't go to therapy, or why I was the way I was, and I was acting out and pushing people away and saying hurtful things to people who got close to me, and putting my girlfriend through, me and her both just putting each other through mental hell and stuff, and just, I'm at an age now where it's like, I can't use that excuse anymore. Like, yeah, it may be true. Things probably would have turned out different if my parents would have given me proper therapy, and then I didn't end up, going to jail and doing all this other reckless shit that I was doing. But now, I'm an adult. Like, I'm a whole grown-ass adult. I can take charge of my own life now. Like, I got my own money. I can see a therapist. I can find the resources in my city and see a therapist. I can talk to them about it. I can be open about them. I can no longer use my parents fucking me up as a crutch. I can do those things now. And while, even now, with my whole ass getting a bipolar diagnosis, and me sharing that with my parents and them being like, you don't got that shit. Ain't nothing wrong with you. And it's like, bruh, have you seen the things that I've gotten into in the past years? Like, you see it. You know that there's something wrong with me. But I can no longer let that discourage me from getting the help that I need, because I'm grown now. I'm grown and I can take charge of my life. My parents don't want to acknowledge that I am bipolar, or that I struggle with mental illness, and all of that, fine. I would love it. I would love nothing more for them to be accepting, so we can go through this journey together. But if I gotta do this shit without them, then I'm gonna do it without them. I feel like it's really important. I don't know why, but I feel like it's important. Like, it feels good to talk to someone and they confirm, like, yes, these feelings that you have, these things that you go through is real. It's a real issue, and let's talk it out. Let's try to talk it out instead of just dismissing me and saying I don't have what I have. And it feels good to be seen. You know, it feels good to be seen. And I also owe that not only to my therapist and my psychiatrist, but I also owe that to my girlfriend currently. Like, she don't look at me like I'm weird. She's not dismissive. She's not, oh, you sure you got? She's just like, okay, baby, and we'll work on this together. So it's nice to have her in my corner. Because even when I did have friends and I would talk to them about my issues, you could tell they wasn't really like, they weren't really listening. You know, they weren't really, like, I've been through so many. I like to say that I don't have friends, but like throughout my years, I've had people that I would consider friends, and then shit would happen and then they would leave. And it is what it is. Like, I always felt like I was a burden. And I think the reason why I'm so determined to, like, go to therapy and take the proper medication to help with these moves, because I don't want my girlfriend to leave. I don't want to do something. I don't want to say something out of pocket. I don't want my moods, whether I'm manic or I'm very full of rage, or I'm just so low that I don't want to communicate. I want to shut her out. I don't want to do that. I don't want to push her away like I push a lot of people away in my past. And because I don't want to go through that again, because it hurts. Like, you know, I hear people talk about, oh, they've been friends with such and such since junior year. This been my bestie since 9th grade. And it's like, I don't have that. I don't have that testimony. I don't have that with anyone. I kind of fucked up. I kind of fucked up a lot of relationships. I'll try to make this right, you know, and I'll try to, you know, it's never too late to get friends. Like, obviously, you know, I have my girlfriend, but also I want to open myself to having more friends, or having friends in the future, you know. Like, I want to connect with more people. I'm trying to put myself out there, even though I'm such an introvert and social anxiety. Like, it takes me, like, it's so, like, I'm so socially anxious. Like, it's a problem sometimes. Like, sometimes it takes me a while to ask for, like, a cup of water when I'm at the restaurant or something. Like, I'm doing something wrong. Like, you can do that. Like, I have to remind myself, like, it's okay. You can ask the cashier lady or man that if you want an extra cup for water. It's okay. But I'll be psyching myself. Up. But I do want to build relationships with people, not just my girlfriend, but meet other people and start over and not push them away. I want to be at a place where I'm tackling my mental illness, my bipolar, in a healthy way and doing the best I can, and go from there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get shit right this time. But, you know, I can make a whole 10-hour video talking about the various things I've done in my life. Just being unmedicated and just lashing out and feeling like I was an alien, like I was the devil. Like, I went through my entire life thinking I was like the devil, or I was this bad evil person, or I was a monster. And it's like, that's not true, you know. I'm not a monster. I'm not evil. I'm not any of those things. I could say I was crying out for help, but I was just trying to do it the best way I could. Because there was a certain time in my life where I believed that the only way for people to hear you is if you make a lot of noise and you make a lot of damage and you say and you do the most grotesque thing possible so they can't ignore you. And it's like, you don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. Another thing I wanted to talk about was basically something that's been happening privately in my life. Basically, so me and my girlfriend. Okay, so my girlfriend has a cousin who they have a girlfriend. They're a girl. They're a young girl, teenage girl, and they have a girlfriend that's also a teenage girl. But they kind of had to hide their the fact that they have a girlfriend and stuff. And we did this thing where we were like, hey, I know you want to meet your girlfriend. Y'all want to spend some time together, but y'all want to do it in a way that like we'll just say, hey, we're going to the movies, and that's what we did. We're going to the movies. We'll meet your girlfriend out there, but we don't have to tell nobody that you're meeting her. And y'all could just chill. And me and my girlfriend will be basically the parents, or we ain't gonna snitch. We ain't gonna say nothing. Y'all do you, cause I know what that's like, and my girlfriend knows what that's like to have a girlfriend and not being able to hang out with them, because that was my situation in 12th grade when I had my first girlfriend ever. Like, we only really hung out during school. I mean, yeah, we called each other and we texted each other, but like I couldn't find a way to hang out with her because my parents started to catch on that, oh, this might be someone more than a friend, and they forbid it. So I couldn't do that. So I know how that is, and like it just makes me sad that like we in 2024. Like, this is something I did back in like 2008, 9, 2010, and we in 2024, and it's like it just breaks my heart knowing that like kids still to this day, even though we've made a lot of progress in the LGBT community, there's still kids who have to hide themselves, and it just breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart that like these two girls just can't hang out together and like enjoy each other, and they do. They find ways, but just this whole dodging and weaving and shit, it's not freedom, and yeah, you wait till they get older, blah blah blah, but it's like, I just think it's bullshit. Because I spent my entire life, I spent a lot of my teenage years can't wait to turn 18, turn 19, so I can move out and be my authentic self. And like, I don't like that. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that there are LGBT kids who feel like they have to wait till they're out of the house to be their true selves. I get it. It's a reality, and I get it's the best scenario, because obviously sometimes you got to do what you do. Trust me, I've been in a situation where I came out to my parents and they did not take that shit lightly. So, to protect yourself, I get it. Like, I would never tell a kid who's in a sketchy home, or a home where their parents would not be thrilled at the fact that they're, gay or whatever, and risk, anything. And even if it's not even something like too wild or crazy, but like maybe they get grounded or something. But I wouldn't tell a kid to just be themselves and just be open and be like, fuck the parents. But like, because legally they still have agency over you. You know what I mean? So, but it breaks my heart. Like, it breaks my heart, because her cousins, I just see myself in them, because that's been my life. And even now as a grown ass, a grown ass woman now. Even I still find it hard to tell my parents that I'm currently dating my girlfriend and calling her my girlfriend. I'm still using friend, and it even while my girlfriend is understandable and it's understandable, I still feel like I'm betraying her. Or I'm not being all the way truthful, and it hurts. And on the flip side of that, like even on her end, like with her mom and everything, her mom still thinks that I'm a guy, and like while her mom's starting to open up to me and everything, there's still this little thing in the back of my head. It's like, well, what if I build this rapport with your mom and then one day it all comes out that I'm not actually a man and I'm a woman? Like, I don't wanna betray her. I don't wanna, but like I understand why we're doing this, because her mom, her aunt, they're not accepting. And I look like I can pass, whatever. But, and this is not to say that my girlfriend doesn't love me, or that or that she doesn't see me as my authentic self. And even with her, like me to her, like she is my girlfriend. You know what I mean? But it's just, what do you do when you grew up in an environment that has always told you that being gay is wrong, being a lesbian is wrong, being who you are is wrong? Like, you internalize that shit. So even though now you can make the argument like, well, y'all grown, right? Like, yeah, we're grown, but we both still depend on our parents, and that's why one of our goals is to, get our money right and use our resources that we have in our city to find our own space, even if that means we have to be with a roommate. Like, it just goes back to what I was saying earlier about like having to wait to turn 18 to be your authentic self. But then, you turn 18 and then you move out, but then you go back into your parents' house, and then you start from scratch. You start from square one, where you're basically like, oh, I need to move out because I can't be my authentic self while I'm still living here. Like, I wish I could tell my mom and my dad how much I love this girl, how much I love this woman. Like, I wish I can. My brother can do that. He doesn't. I'm not gonna lie. I always confuse me because it was like he's a straight male. Like, my mom literally encourages him to tell her about his girlfriends and the little girls that he be dealing with, and it's like, that's encouraged. So why don't you? But you're a straight male. You have nothing to worry about. But he's just a very low key type of person. You don't tell nobody nothing. He doesn't share information. I've always been jealous of that, because it's like, bro, if I was in your predicament, like if I was a straight male, I tell my mom and daddy about my girlfriends all the time. Like, I would just be like, hey, this is little shawty I'm talking to, I want to build my life with her. Like, if I had that privilege, I would take it. But I don't know. Perspective is weird, isn't it? But yeah, I wish I could. But when it comes to me, they don't ask me about my dating life. They don't ask me because they know what's good. They know what's tea. Like, they know what I like, and they rather just ignore it or not talk about it. They don't ever encourage me to talk about who I'm dating, like they do with my brother, because they don't want to hear that shit. They don't want to hear that shit. And I feel kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of sucks. My parents know of her. They know about her. They're like, she can come over, she can hang out, but like, it's still under the guise of, oh, this is just a friend, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, I'm trying to bring her to my room and fuck the shit out of her, but you know, not to be so blunt, not to be not to be to the point, but I'm just keeping it 100. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm you know, because both of us, you know, I'm you know, but I can't, like, but like, I gotta be smart about it, because like, if I off rip say, oh well, this is my girlfriend, then they're gonna be a little suspicious. But yeah, like, mom, dad, like, this girl that I'm bringing over, yeah, she's just a friend, she's just cool, or just whatever. We're just gonna go in my room right quick. We're just gonna hang out and watch movies. Meanwhile, you know, we don't fucking, you know. but 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 not even just that, but like, I want to have that privilege. And this just kind of goes back to like, not to bring like transitioning and like transitioning and stuff into it, but like, I think a part of me always felt like transitioning gave me the excuse to like women without judgment. Because if the world saw me as a man, then I'm just a man with a woman, with a girlfriend, with a wife. That ain't nothing. That's just quote unquote normal. That's just the norm. That's just the most society accepting thing you could do. But then realizing like, I could never pull that off. Like, maybe when I'm outside with my girlfriend, you know, people probably just assume we're a straight couple, or like a man dating a woman. But like, it's the people closest to me who know what's good. Like, it would never be that to them. Like, it doesn't matter how much how much, you know, this beard, and how much my voice, and how much I may pass as a male or look like a male. At the end of the day, they know that I'm a woman, and me dating a woman is gay. It's gay as fuck. It's lesbian shit. And they don't fuck with that, so I can't escape, really. But it sucks that we have to be in a world where you have to escape, and it sucks, because you should be your authentic self. Ain't nothing wrong with same-sex relationships. Love is love, bro. And it just sucks that we have to move out to be our true selves and have our own place. Like, there's nothing wrong with having your own place. I mean, that's independence and that's freedom. You know, that's the goal for every, you know, adult, regardless of sexuality. But like, there's a specific reason why gay people and stuff who are bisexual, people who are in same-sex relationships, why they feel like they have to do it urgently, because it's like, I can't be myself around my family type shit. Hopefully, well, that's just my situation now, I guess. But you know, there will be a time where we can no longer hide the fact that we love each other, and we're two women who love each other very much. And there will be a time where we just kind of have to tell our parents that, hey, this is what it is. This woman brings me so much life and love into my life. And I'm not finna let y'all judge her or say this or that about her. This is someone that I could genuinely see myself spending the rest of my life with. No cap. Like, I dead ass want her to be my wife one day. And, you know, come to the wedding if you want to. I still put the invite. Y'all might not come because it goes against your religion or your beliefs, but yeah, the invitation's there. Come if you want to. You're not gonna stop me from marrying her. Nope. The wedding gonna happen regardless. The marriage certificate gonna be signed regardless. So do what you want or will with that information. Hopefully one day my girlfriend's cousins, you know, even if they don't end up being together for the long term, or maybe they find other woman in their life as they get older, but hopefully one day they don't have to hide anymore. And maybe one day we live in a society where gay kids grow up into gay adults and they don't have to hide at any point, or they don't have to feel like transition will help them be accepted into the world. Like, I get it. Like, I was there. That was me. Like, I wanted so badly to be a male, a straight male, because then it wouldn't be political. Then it wouldn't be an issue. Then it wouldn't be controversial. Like, I could just be freely loved. But the fact of the matter is, I can't solve that by transitioning. I just have to push against that by just being my authentic self best way I can, and then be an example for younger, you know, kids growing up. Because I know they're looking. Like, my girlfriend's cousins, they look at us and how we are together. They look at us. She looks at us. And I know she probably is like, damn, I want to be like them one day. And I hope that doesn't sound like arrogant or like narcissistic. I'm just saying, like, the same thing I used to do when I used to look at gay couples that were open and loving each other. I would look at them and be like, you know, I want that to be me one day. And I'm here now, you know. But anyways, I'm gonna end the video. Appreciate y'all for watching. Appreciate y'all for watching that last video where I was like clearly sick, and y'all still showed up. So appreciate y'all. Hopefully this video I'm a bit more lively than I was. But anyways, I appreciate y'all watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.